Hi everybody, and welcome to Archery 101. Alright, the rotational draw. This video is going to probably create some controversy because there's those people that stress out on terminology. I'm not one of them. They're going to tell you it's not a rotational draw, it's a this, it's that. Fine, that's good. I call it a rotational draw. You say tomato, I say tomato. Same thing. Right? Don't get hung up on words or terminology. Alright, so what's a rotational draw, right? Well, I'll say I'm a huge fan of it. Now, never was taught it, sort of figured it out on my own. It just felt easier for me to do it, right? And for me, it's an important part of my shot cycle, you know? So really, what is a rotational draw? Well, the best way to put it, simply put, a rotational draw is just one method of drawing the bow and setting your body up for proper alignment and one fluid motion. And that's why I like it. I like fluid moves. I don't like snappy moves. I like fluid moves like that, right? That's just me. Maybe you like one, two, three, instead of 1, 2, 3. All right? Maybe that's you. That's not me. And life is good, right? So that's why I like it. It's a nice fluid method that allows me to get drawing in proper body alignment in one fluid motion. Now, what's the benefits of a rotational draw? Well, rotational draw has a reduced risk of shoulder injury. And it also reduces fatigue, which allows me to use heavier bows on a regular basis and to shoot any bow for a longer period of time without that horrible effect of being tired. Right. Now, the downside. What's the downside of a rotational draw? Well, it takes a lot longer to learn and even longer to master. Because sometimes you'll rotate this much, sometimes you don't. So you have to pay a lot of attention to it. But once you do get it, I'm telling you, I love it. Right? So what are we going to do in this video today? Well, you know, I could sit here and I could babble off a whole bunch of mumbo-jumbo, right? Trying to tell you what it is and all that. You know, what's your first thing you do is you're going to take your premius formius. You're going to rotatus maximus, stretchus to bodius, engages the musculus to the backus, stringus to the mouthus, arrows shooteth straight to the targetus, joyous, happiest, archerous. Right? I could just sit there and babble all that off. Or I could say, well, you just learn this and you let it go. You know, everybody learns different. We all know the 3 ways to learn, right? And everybody uses the scientific terms. I do the simple ones. All you got to do is see it or hear it. Right? All you got to do is describe it, I should say. Somebody just describes it. That's by reading or speaking. You got to see them do it, or you got to do it yourself. It's pretty much the 3 ways, right? Auditorially, kinesthetically, and visually. That's the 3 ways. You either hear it or read it. You got to see it, or like me, you got to do it. I'm the last 2. I got to see it, and then I got to do it for me to learn. So I'm going to try to work all 3 in for you. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to show you a whole bunch of angles of me doing my rotational draw. Now, we'll say mine's different. Then I'm going to talk to you about it and tell you what I'm doing, why I'm doing, what I'm feeling. Then I'm going to let Jeff come on, and Jeff's going to come on and show you his rotational draw, because his is different than mine. He's going to do the same thing. And that will give you a good base of information for you to make the decision of what you think it is and whether it's something you should do. All right? It's going to be a good time. I'm going to have fun making this video because every time I make a video, I learn, which makes me laugh because you think I know this already. All right, boys and girls? So, the rotational draw. Let's take a look at how I do my rotational draw. All right, everybody, here we are at the range. Now remember I said I'm going to show you front, back, up, side, front. Don't have enough cameras to do them all, but as you can see, I'm right here. But watch this. You're not going to be able to see the best. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all 3, and then I'll do each one individually. So first thing I'm going to do is just demonstrate it, and then I'll break it down later. Alright, there you have it. That's my rotational draw. Now it's slightly changed than what I did before. Alright, let's see, watch it from the back. It's back. Now, let's take a look at it from the front. From the front. Alright, now let's break it down. Alright, now that you've seen it, now I got to explain it to you. Big caveat here. I changed my rotational draw 2 days before I made this video. So, I'm not always doing it right. Now I'm going to show you how I do it. Now, I'm going to show you the other ways later. Alright, but let's do it like this first. I use an open stance. Okay? So I get my open stance. If you notice, my body is this way. My finger's pointing at the target. So it's about a 30-degree angle. I'm facing to 2 o'clock. If you're right-handed, your shoulder should face to 10 o'clock, your shoulders and hips. Now, how I change my rotational draw, my new one, is I'm sort of copying Jeff. My bow is at maybe 1 o'clock. My wrist, it's not like this, it's like this. That's an exaggeration. My wrist is bent. And I got this from a level 4 coach I heard online. And I'm telling you, when he said it and I did it, I realized it. So I'm here. I put a little pressure in my hips so I don't turn my hips. I'm going to push with my front hand and keep my back hand static till a certain point hits, and I'm going to draw my back. Hit my anchor, continue expansion, and then let go. Alright, that's all it really is. So what I'm doing is I'm using the rotation to do a good chunk of my draw before I put my back in. I'm not doing that initial draw from up here, and that's where people get injured, because your shoulder, look at the alignment. Your shoulder's way out of whack. So I'm keeping good shoulder alignment. So I'm here. I draw a little different than most people, don't mind me. Rotate, pull, anchor. Here we go. Alright, just like that. I'll show you one more time. Set my hips. Set my shoulders. I make sure my shoulders are down. I physically pull them down using my back. Cock my wrist. Rotate using my core. And that's it. One thing I'm going to say, the rotational draw for me gets my back engaged more and helps me to get a cleaner release. Alright? So that's mine. It's real simple. Hips, little tension, Bow, eyes on target, cock the wrist, rotate the core, transfer, almost hit an arrow. All right, probably clipped it. And that's it. That's how simple the rotational draw is. Now, to give you a different perspective, although mine was much more different before, it's slowly creeping over toward his, is Mr. Archery himself, the future intergalactic bear bow champion. Yeah, you know it, Mr. Knocking Point himself. Let's watch Jeff Krug now go over his rotational draw and why he does it.
Why don't you come down from there and we can discuss rotational draw? Come on. So what I do is I do my setup, get your feet, your set position, hook and grip. I come up and I kind of judge the distance of the target. The arrow's pointing that way. Oh, let me get an arrow, why not? The arrow's pointing way off to the left, or fairly far off to the left. Whoop. And I look just over the shelf at the target, and I sometimes will kind of estimate range at that point. And I have an issue with keeping my shoulders down, so I'm always working to keep my shoulders down. And then when I draw, everything comes into really nice alignment, which when I practiced it a lot, I'm looking at the target, I draw, everything's rotational, it comes down, and I'm in perfect alignment. I hardly have to do any sighting. At that point I start doing my sighting, which is instinctive aiming, and that's how I do a rotational draw.
All right, everybody, you know, I'd like to thank Jeff Krug for putting his input in on it, helping this video to be better, to give you another perspective. Because you know how I say it, you may not get it, but maybe Jeff says something that clicked for you. And that's how I like to do it, get you from different angles. All right. So now hopefully you got a concept of what is the rotational draw and how the two of us do it. But there's more ways to it than that. If you watch my videos, you know for the longest time, and I still do a lot of times, is I shoot with my feet together. Now I can't do the rotational draw like I do now like this, so I'll show you a variation that I used to do, which I found very effective. I still point my hips and shoulders at 2 o'clock. I'm going to point my bow at the target. Then I'm going to rotate my hips and shoulders until they're in line with the target, and that rotation is going to help me draw. I already got to there, and then I pull with my arm and I let go. All right? So you can see it's a rotational draw because I rotate and draw, and it takes up the most critical time. When people get injured, it's here when your shoulders are out of alignment. You're at that angle, and that's why the shoulder tears to the front. By getting it over more, I'm helping protect it. All right? So, some people say, okay, Greg, that's great, but you know, I snap shoot. So the rotational draw is not for me. Not so quick. I'm not the best snap shooter, but we'll try it. All right? It can be done. Now, what if you do a swing draw? You know, Greg, I swing draw. I bring it up from the ground, pull, swing, snap, shooting, instinctive death shooter. I'm not good at this, but we'll try this one. It can be done. Boom. You know, I like fluidity, and that's the big thing. So there's 2 ways to do your rotational draw. Now, please don't get caught up on the words. I know linear draw is this. Angular draw is this. I'm talking drawing with your body. Rotational draw. It's not official, it's not nothing, but that's what I call it. You want to call it an angular draw? That's for you. But what an angular draw is, you draw at an angle. On this one, I'm still drawing straight in, but I'm rotating my body. All right? So I'm here, final little demonstration, see how well I shoot. Hips and shoulders, tighten my hips so it doesn't move. Rotate, draw, hold, expand, and let it go. Don't have to hold. If you like to hold, you can hold. And that's what the beauty of this is. Allows me to hold. Alright, that's it, the rotational draw. Maybe it's something you want to add to your shooting, maybe it's not. But it's something to think about, and if it works for you, it'll work. Now I'm going to tell you the secret of it. If you do the rotational draw, you're going to be able to shoot that heavier bow harder, or longer like I said. You'll be able to shoot heavier bows, and most importantly, you'll be more accurate. Between me and you, okay? Alright, boys and girls, thank you for watching. You know, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something out of it. Alright? Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time with an all-new episode of Archery 101.